Thank you, Penny, and hello, everyone. My name is Chris Nelson. I'm the Vice President of Software Development, and I lead the teams that are responsible for software design and engineering, as well as the delivery of those software products and software services. In 2018, we are extending OSIsoft's market-leading data infrastructure, the Pi system, to the edge and toward our community vision. Yes, you heard me correctly. In 2018, we are extending OSIsoft's market-leading data infrastructure, the Pi system, to the edge through our pervasive data collection initiative and towards our community vision through OSIsoft Cloud Services. Now, I know you're going to have a lot of questions, how, what, why, and that is really what we want to talk to you about throughout this week. Please use this presentation as kind of the frame to have those discussions, and give us your feedback as we talk throughout the week. And we'll get into more of this. So, Greg talked about and introduced dark data. How do we give you the tools to light up all that dark data? And that's what we believe our responsibility is for you as the makers of that data infrastructure, is to give you the tools to light up that dark data. We are doing that through our pervasive data collection initiative. But before we go into what it is, why don't we talk about what we are seeing in data collection patterns and at the edge. Pat and Greg talked about this. What we are seeing is a plethora of new devices being deployed into your operational environments. Most likely those sensors are informational purposes. So we see them bypassing the traditional control networks, whether or not that be a DCS or a SCADA PLC, and we need to provide you the infrastructure components to be able to collect that data from those new sensors and those new devices. But you're also deploying so many sensors and devices that you need to manage them. And this is personally where I believe IoT platforms bring a lot of value to you in device provisioning and device management. But as you deploy these sensors through these IoT platforms, we're also seeing a new data collection pattern where you're deploying them with a wireless gateway or a wireless router, completely bypassing your existing IT infrastructure and going directly to a cloud platform. And that's what's creating those silo T that Greg talked about earlier. We don't like silos in OSIsoft, especially around data, so we will be enhancing the infrastructure so that you can capture that data and bring it back into your data infrastructure to give you a holistic view of your operations environment. And last, Greg hit this pretty hard. We are seeing complex data coming from these new sensors and devices. No longer are they just a single timestamp and value, they're moving way beyond that to complex data types. And we need to enhance the infrastructure so that you can store that optimally and really drive that data into your users. So, back to the pervasive data collection initiative. These are the 4 components that we are focused on, and we'll go through each one of them. The first starts with OSIsoft message format. We are trying to drive a RESTful, message-driven architecture approach for ingesting data into our infrastructure, whether or not that be the Edge Data Store, the Pi system, or OSIsoft Cloud Services. The reason for that: we did extensive research with device and sensor manufacturers, and we gained a little bit of empathy of what their life is like when you have to build a package that is a mix of a hardware and software and really ensure that it does what the sensor was meant to do, what you bought it for. The number one requirement when talking to them was ultimate flexibility. We need the power to do what we need to do on that particular device to make sure it works while it's sending and collecting data. So that's when we approached them about this OSIsoft message format. It is really just a paper specification that exposes the information space of Pi. If you can form your data to it, you can send it through a web service call into one of our endpoints, and we will ingest it and put it into the system. This was met very well with those sensors and device manufacturers. They really liked this idea. But the conversation went, well, you know, when we said we needed that ultimate flexibility, maybe we don't need that much ultimate flexibility. Can you give us some libraries to get us started with this initiative? Maybe some open source libraries. And we thought this was a great idea. building an open source stack that you could deploy on a Raspberry Pi that allows you to collect some data and it automatically emits to a Pi system component or OSIsoft cloud services. So we partnered with a company called Dynamics and created FogLamp. And this is an open source software stack that is up on GitHub. Anybody can go and grab it. You can take that, put that on a Raspberry Pi, and start to utilize that and also extend it as you see fit. The real power here is ARM and Mbed have 250,000 developers. Who best to put on that dark data than 250,000 developers? We want to light up that whole community so as these sensors and devices get deployed into your operational environments, the data automatically flows into the OSIsoft data infrastructure. Next, as we talk to those device manufacturers and also to you, our customers, we found many scenarios where you needed a hardened, persistent store down at the edge to drive local operational tasks. Two come to mind to me. One is we were working with one device. It was really an asset that was going to be deployed where there were never going to be any humans, and they needed some calculation capabilities to drive that asset where it was being deployed. Edge data store was great for that particular scenario. The other one is when you're deploying data collection to a remote asset and you may have intermittent connectivity with that asset. And again, you want to drive local operational tasks while that connectivity is broken. Edge data store is particularly suited well for that scenario. Last but not least is our continued investment in Pi interfaces and Pi connectors. We have been building Pi interfaces for the past 35 years, and we have an extensive library. As we extend our infrastructure to the edge and up into the cloud, we will ensure that interfaces can write to those particular infrastructure components, preserving your investment. We are moving towards Pi connectors. Main reason for the framework allows you to really collect data along the lines of more data collection patterns that we are seeing. I'll highlight two. The framework that connectors are built upon has been designed for modern cybersecurity needs. So right there you get a lot of value. The second one is we've separated basically the data collection and then the part that puts it into our infrastructure so that you could take a very low footprint data collection part of the connector, deploy it on a device, and then send the data up into a collection node that will then be responsible for inserting that into the Pi system or into OSIsoft cloud services. So we believe with our pervasive data collection initiative and these four main components, we are giving you the tools to light up all that dark data that Greg and Penny talked about. But we think we have another problem on our hands. Now that you're deploying all these sensors and devices and really expanding your data infrastructure, how do you know where all your data infrastructure components is running? And how do you know the health of them? And I think this ultimately goes to the trust of your data. So in 2018, OSIsoft is kicking off what we're calling the manageable system. So as we expand our infrastructure to the edge and to the cloud, we want to lower the labor it takes to get data flowing in our infrastructure and lower the labor it takes for you to manage that infrastructure so your colleagues can focus their effort on using the data to provide outcomes with the data rather than monitoring the system itself. The two components that we are releasing in 2018 are Pi System Directory and Pi System Health. Pi System Directory is that infrastructure component that will allow you to discover where the infrastructure is running, what node it is, what software is running on that, and what version of that software. I like to think of this as an easy place to go as security alerts come out, because they're always coming out. Where you can go is your Pi directory or Pi System Directory to see if you have any of those versions running on any of your nodes. After we take an inventory of where that infrastructure is running, we put Pi System Health on top of it. That's the infrastructure component that is responsible to tell you how your infrastructure is running. The first couple versions, we're going to be concentrating on data flow. Through a lot of interviews with yourselves, you told us that was the #1 priority that you had for Pi System Health. And this will be coming out in 2018. Just to give you a quick overview of what this looks like, Here is a particular environment, and you can see that I'm experiencing a problem. I can click very easy into that and see that it is an interface, and you can see what's happening on the interface. I don't want to get too much into this. I really encourage you to go to the Product Expo Pod, talk to the teams about Pi System Directory, Pi System Health, and the larger efforts that are going around Pi System 2018 and Pi System 2018 R2. So let's review where we are. Pervasive Data Collection Initiative is going to give you the tools to light up all that dark data. Pi System Directory, Pi System Health are going to increase the trustworthy factor of your infrastructure so that you can trust the data and know that data is flowing. Let's go back to Greg and Penny. Now that we got all the data into that system, how do we expose it to the people that need it? And that is really raising our natural intelligence through Pi Vision. We have spent a lot of investment really increasing our visualization capabilities. Last year we announced Pi Vision, and in 2018 we're announcing a major architectural overhaul for Pi Vision. I urge you, don't worry about it. It will be a simple upgrade for you. But this architectural change allows us to do a lot of things. One is, how do we get to all your colleagues? All of us now probably are carrying around our preferred collection device or communication device. All of these now have modern web browsers on them. So this architectural change that we are doing with Pi Vision allows you to reach all of your colleagues that have a modern device with a modern web browser. It also allows us to concentrate on creating a performant application running in the browser. We're pulling in modern web frameworks that really allow us to do some neat things to provide that performant application. This architectural change also allows us to take our technology investment in Pi Vision and use it across all of the components of our expanded infrastructure. The reason why I say technology is as we deploy Pi Vision 4 to the on-premise systems, it will come through an app. You will load it through your browser. When we deliver that technology through OSIsoft Cloud Services, it will just be part of that software as a service offering. This will allow us to give you a very enhanced customer experience as you're looking at your data on-premise and then looking at it through our OSIsoft Cloud Services. This technology chain will also allow us to deploy Pi Vision to an internet endpoint that we host that you can go to and get the latest version of that code and then connect to your on-premise systems. The best way to describe this is through an example. We're in a closed preview with Pi Vision 4X right now, so several customers in the room are using it and giving us early feedback. One of them called us and said, hey, we're having a performance problem when we're browsing one of our asset hierarchies. Can you take a look? And we said, yeah, just export the database, we'll profile it. And we did, and we had designed for this particular thing, but we've never saw it before, and we had to add some optimizations. We were able to do that, test it, deploy it back to this internet endpoint, call the customer and say, hey, can you verify that? And that was all done in a week. It was a very good customer experience where all they had to do was go to this internet endpoint and reload their code. Now, many of you are still using Process Book as your primary visualization tool, and that is okay. Our commitment to you is we are going to move that investment forward when you are ready to do that. We've invested pretty heavily in a migration library that allows us to move from many different versions of our visualization software into Pi Vision 4. It will be exposed through the Pi Process Book migration tool, but it will also be exposed through other products like Pi Vision has it built into it natively. We will also expand this migration library to our partners who take DCS graphics and convert them over to our visualization displays. They will be able to extend this library to do that for DCS graphics or any other type of graphic file. So let's review again. Pervasive data collection, we are giving you the tools to light up that dark data. With Pi System Directory, Pi System Health, we are increasing the infrastructure components so that you know where the infrastructure is running and that you can trust the health of that infrastructure. With PiVision 4, you were able to expose that infrastructure to all of your colleagues, raising the natural intelligence that Greg and Penny talked about and turning all of your colleagues into data heroes. So now, how do we overlay artificial intelligence, or what we would call data science? And that is through our OSIsoft Cloud Services platform. We have a large number of engineers that are really working right now on how to move data from your on-premise Pi systems up into our OSIsoft Cloud Services platform to enable data science. But that is not our singular focus with this platform. We have a much grander vision and an even larger scope planned. What are we doing with OSIsoft Cloud Services? We are developing and maintaining an operational data ecosystem that connects customers, you, with best-in-class analytics and their community of vendors and partners. How are we going to do this? This is just business as usual within OSIsoft. We take an infrastructure approach. It's just how we're built in OSIsoft. We've started a while ago by building some infrastructure microservices within this platform. We continued to add more microservices to it, data queuing and data sharing, and that allowed us to compose those into a software as a service offering, Pi Cloud Connect, that allows you to take data between two Pi systems and break down the security boundaries of two companies. We still added more microservices, a sequential data store, data ingress, and wrap that all within modern RESTful APIs. That was enough for us to take a solution to our partner community and say, hey, can you help us test out how to run this platform? And while you're at it, if you're interested, move your solution over to our OSIsoft Cloud Services so that when we onboard customers, and if they would like to, they can immediately start to consume your solution as a partner. On day 3, Thursday, we will do a more detailed engineering keynote, and we have a partner telling their perspective of how this is very valuable to them. So what is OSIsoft Cloud Services? It is a multi-tenant, distributed microservice platform that can cloud scale. It's high-speed, scalable, and elastic by its very design. It has a flexible, resilient data storage mechanism in it. And again, it is all wrapped within a high-security RESTful blanket secured by Azure Active Directory. This will be a software-as-a-service offering. We will maintain it, and we will ensure that is up 24/7. And we are planning to deploy that into the Microsoft Azure cloud. In fact, I'm not planning, we are doing that. So, again, go back to what Pat said in the beginning. What problems are we trying to solve? Why? First one, remote operations monitoring. We believe that this low-touch nature of OSIsoft Cloud Services, being a software-as-a-service solution, allows you to reach dark data that was deemed too costly because you didn't have an IT infrastructure. So now, very much like I was explaining with that IoT platform, you could deploy a compute node with a wireless gateway and some cellular connectivity, collect data from wherever you want, and automatically, or just send that to our OSIsoft Cloud Services, bringing in more data, giving you a holistic view of all of your operational environment. Second, again, data science enablement, and I'll get into this. Connected community is really our vision of our community vision. How do we unlock all of your operational data into a platform that you can easily share it with your vendors and your partners, really combining everybody's expertise for an exponential gain on value of that data? Let's jump into these. Remote operations monitoring. Again, this is where you can deploy just a data collection device, get that data flowing directly into OSIsoft Cloud Services with some visualization tools on top of that. The people that need this believe data is magic. We have several people that we've been working with. When they unlock the data of that, when they unlock that dark data, they're like, oh, I could do so much with this data. Really allowing your natural intelligence to bring you value. Next, data science enablement. We are focused on allowing you very easily to move your data from your on-premise Pi systems up into OSIsoft Cloud Services. Why would you want to do this? One, we are extending the system of record capabilities that we are known for in the Pi system up into our OSIsoft Cloud Services platform. So you will be able to ensure the provenance of your data from where it was actually collected from that data collection device into your on-premise Pi system up into OSIsoft Cloud Services. You will be able to know what that provenance was. Did anybody change anything? Did anybody edit anything? We will bring that to you, what you love and know within the Pi system. Second, why should you move your data up there? Because analytics and data science is iterative. You need to have that data at your fingertips when you're either building a model, training a model, applying a machine learning algorithm. It's a very iterative process, and if you have all the data within that platform, it can go very quickly. Third, you can use any environment, data science environment you want, due to the nature of the architecture where you could just make web service calls into OCS to get the data out into those environments. Last but not least is our vision of the connected community. As we move data up into our OSIsoft Cloud Services, we believe this is a platform where you can share that data very easily with your vendors and partners without having to move the data. It's already there. You allow them access to your data and they can just log in and start using that data. Again, tie back to that system of record capabilities. So as they're viewing the data, if you didn't allow them to edit it, they can't edit it. So we will be able to track all that stuff as a system of record up in our OSIsoft Cloud Services. So I consider OSIsoft Cloud Services as a platform for doing data science. We have invested a lot in our Pi Integrators product line. It allows you to do data science projects. It allows you to define a data set within your operational environment, shape that data however you want to shape that data, cleanse that data, and then either expose that data to your analytical environment or actually publish that data over to your analytical environment. At this conference, we are announcing a new function, which is the streaming function of a Pi Integrator, where it will actually continually push data into a particular environment. And we are announcing that we are building a Pi Integrator for Amazon Web Services. So what I don't want you to get misinterpreted is OSIsoft Cloud Services is the only place to do data science. No, you can actually use the Pi Integrators to do data science projects as well. So let's go and review. With pervasive data collection, we are giving you the tools to light up all that dark data. With Pi System Directory, Pi System Health, we are increasing the trustworthy factor of your infrastructure through 2 new infrastructure components. With Pi Vision 4, you are able to expose all the data that's in your infrastructure to every one of your colleagues that is running a modern communication device with a modern web browser. With OSIsoft Cloud Services, you can now start to overlay artificial intelligence and data science capabilities and match that with your operational data, unlocking even greater value. So the message we'd like you to take away from this part: in 2018, OSIsoft is extending its market-leading data infrastructure, the Pi system, to the edge and toward our community vision. In 2018, OSIsoft is extending its data infrastructure, the Pi system, to the edge through our pervasive data collection initiative and towards our community vision through OSIsoft Cloud Services. We have a lot in charge for you this week. So please, use this as a frame to drive a discussion throughout the week. Tomorrow when you get together with your industry colleagues, see what's relevant. See what projects you have that you can utilize some of these new components. Talk amongst yourselves. Go to the product expo. Engage with the engineering team at OSIsoft. Ask them questions. What are you doing? What wasn't clear? Hey, we talked about this yesterday at our industry forum. Does this make sense? This is the start of a conversation. On day 3, the engineering teams will start with a keynote again, which will dive a little bit deeper into what we're doing through the lens of deploying a production Pi system in our SLTC headquarters. We are also moving that data up into our OSIsoft cloud services and sharing it with partners. So thank you very much, and I hope you see some things here that we can continue that conversation throughout the week. Thank you.